All right, Mr. Only, so we're here with the meet and greet that you organized. So tell us why the City of Watertown voters should vote for you.
Oh, you're going to start with that one? I thought
yes.
you were going to ask me about the event and that kind of thing. Actually, I'm interested in seeing the city respond to the City of Watertown's residents first, listen to them first, and then, before they make a decision, consider what the people are wanting done. We don't see that happening right now. But I had noticed when I came over here today that there's a lot more streets being repaired on the north side, folks. So that's a good thing. So raising your voice makes a difference. And that's what people are going to have to do in this election. If they want to see the changes that they're looking to see done, stop being discouraged. Get out and vote. I mean, stop complaining. Vote. And I think that's what the solution is. So I'm going to be fully committed to listening to people about what they want before I make any decision about anything. As it should be. I mean, I'm a representative. I'm no more than that. I'm the people's voice. I go in there and I listen to them, listen to what's being suggested, and then talk to people and then decide.
So you're the one that organized this. Can you tell us more about this meeting that you set up today?
Absolutely. Well, we needed a neutral place where everybody could come and say what they needed to and be able to talk about what their platform is and what they felt that they would do for the city if they were elected. And I didn't want it to be partisan so much or attacking. It was more about policy and that kind of thing. Hey, Wink, how you doing? And so the main thing was that the media, I felt, wasn't being really attentive to this particular race, and I thought it was awfully quiet and needed to stir it up a little bit. So the idea is this is like a kickoff for all of the campaigns, for all of the candidates to come here, to say what they need to, meet people, and get it out, talked about it. Here's the thing. If I had a meet and greet and then 6 other candidates had a meet and greet, you're singing to the choir. Basically, your own supporters are coming to that meet and greet. The point of it is to get more people who don't know you to come, and so you can talk to them as well. And the same thing for the other candidates. I want them to be able to talk to people that might be supporting me and are looking for a second candidate.
All right, one final question I want to ask you. This COVID memorial, what are your thoughts in Thompson Park?
Don't agree with it. No, I think that there should be a master plan that is put in place before anything is decided. And what we see too much of is that these elite people in the city, we don't even know who the Friends of Thompson Park are. I mean, I brought that issue up before when I was at council. I said, what are their names? Well, they didn't want to say who their names are. All right, if they're going to be that involved in doing stuff for the city, I think what they should do is put their names up, just like they would with any other committee that we have in the city of Watertown, so we all know who they are. We can contact them and hopefully influence what their decision is going to be. But no, I don't agree with that and all the other things that are being suggested. The amphitheater, before there was any input from the people, I mean, this is a representative government, last I checked, and there ought to be a representative type mood of city council members and the mayor looking for the people's input before they decide to do something. That's
all right. Thank you, Mr. Only. I appreciate your time, and
thank you, Danny.
Good luck in November.
Yeah, very much. I appreciate that.
All right, thanks.
Good.
All right, we're here with Miss Horton. You're running for a 4-year council seat. Can you tell, or I'm sorry, a 2-year council seat.
Correct.
Can you tell us about how you plan on winning that 2-year seat, and what will you do for the city of Watertown?
Honestly, fiscal responsibility is number one. We have to be thinking of our constituents, the residents that live in this city, and how we are going to spend their money most wisely. And we need to be conservative with that money.
All right, so there's a problem with the COVID memorial. There's an issue, the people don't like it. What is your opinion on this COVID memorial at Thompson Park?
I feel a little mixed about it. I think that obviously COVID has been a huge issue, especially in the last couple years, but there's been many other pandemics as well, and if we start with that, how do we continue to add other things as well?
All right, so there's a hydro plan or hydro contract that's coming to an end here. What do you think the city should do with the hydro contract?
I think that the city's in the right track with appointing a team to look into that, so then not everybody has to be spending all their time just on that. So the team that is looking into that, they are finding out information and talking to many people that will give us the correct information on how we should exactly proceed to make sure that we are being proactive with our dollars.
And one final question, how do you plan on beating Mr. Hickey?
I just plan on being myself and being being proactive and being fiscally responsible and showing everybody that I should be the voice that represents our constituents on City Council.
All right, well, thank you so much, Ms. Horton. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Mr. Schoen. He's running for the 4-year council seat. Can you tell us about how you plan on winning that election?
I plan on campaigning on doing what I say I'm going to do, try to make Watertown better. I know that's kind of cliche, but you know, not make Watertown something that it wasn't, but I know what Watertown was when I was a kid. I'd like to see it come back. You know, the houses look beautiful. People are happy to live here. People want to move here instead of move away from Watertown, and try to come up with ideas to make that happen.
All right, so there's a hot button issue with the Colburn Memorial. Where do you stand on that issue?
I'm not sure. I just read about it the other day. I know we have so much parkland, and whether or not we put another memorial in the park, we have the 10th Mountain, which is phenomenal. It's a very nice spot. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'd look into it more. Are there other areas in the city? Do people that have had COVID or family members of people who have died from COVID, do they want a memorial? Do they want to remember people that way? You know, is that what it's about? I don't know. So I'd like to find out more about that. But you know, me personally, if a family member died of COVID, I don't think I'd want them to be remembered. That was their life. Here's their name on a wall that says I died of COVID. But that may be insensitive. I don't know. I'd like to ask people that have had firsthand experience with that, you know, the illness and possibly death. Hopefully not, but if that's how they would like their family members remembered.
So I want to ask you about your relationship with Mayor Smith.
Yep.
Could you tell us about that?
Well, that's funny too, because I get, you know, I read stuff and people post, you know, it's politics, so people are going to slander you and say things that aren't true. I had never met Jeff Smith until the day I did my interview for the interim position, and I had only talked to him to set up the appointment time for that. So I'd never met him, talked to him, or worked for him in any capacity at all. So I'm not a crony, I'm not a friend, I'm not an acquaintance. You know, I'm not a customer, or he's not a customer of mine. We have nothing in common as far as outside council mayor relationship at all. Nothing.
All right, and I just appreciate the time you took with me today, and I wish you good luck in November.
All right, Donnie, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Councilman Spaziani, you're running for a write-in for the 4-year seat. Tell us why we should write you in.
Well, if you want clarity, sincerity, and transparency, I guess I'm your candidate. People know where I stand. They know what I don't have a personal agenda. My agenda is for the city. And a prime example is that I voted for hospice, to give money to hospice. I fought to keep the Altieri pool from being destroyed and put it in the budget. Now, whether it comes to fruition or not is a different story. Now, if I'm voted in, I can make sure that it's going to come to fruition. If not, I mean, they can juggle things around. I'm against the COVID memorial in the park. I mean, it's the COVID's still going on, and they want to put a memorial up there. But what about the people that died of polio? What about the close to 900,000 people that died of drug overdoses since 1990? Now that's a crisis. We don't hear anything from that. And what really irritated me is that the Friends of Thompson Park, they're a committee of some sort, but who are they? I don't know who they are. They put a letter in there, and they want some of this recovery money. We shouldn't be doing that. That's public property. It's a park. It's got to be green. Okay? It's not a memorial park. People should be able to go up there and enjoy themselves instead of looking around and say, oh, that's a memorial here, that's a memorial there. I voted for the infrastructure for water and sewer and sidewalks, and I want more done, but you can only do so much. And especially this $3 million that they've saved, if somehow or another Mr. Mills come up with it. I want to refurbish our city hall. That's our house. It's got to be updated, and when it's updated, it'll use less electricity. So when it comes time for the hydro contract on, each kilowatt hour that we save there is one more that we can sell other places, you know, online or whatever, your transmission lines. And the big thing is a single stream. Single stream, certain people want it. I'm not crazy about it because they still haven't proven to me that it's viable. It's going to cost over $2 million to convert over to single stream. And the loser is the people that want to keep or want to maintain our current refuse pickup. They kind of like that. So if they do away with our current system, those people are the ones that are getting jeopardized, that are being slapped in the face. Now, if a person wants to go to single stream, they can, because we already have vendors out there that are doing that. I mean, all the city has to do is tweak it a little bit, and they can. It's a break even. Because as far as I'm concerned, we should not be in the refuge business competing with private contractors. No, private contractors are the ones that make. Well, they make things go. They pay taxes. Does the city pay taxes? No.
All right, Mr. Spaziani, I appreciate your time. And real quickly before we go, how are you planning on getting enough write-in votes?
Donnie, it's an uphill battle. I understand that. I know that. And I'll tell you, I'll let everybody know the reason why I jumped in is when we got word that we did not receive the DOD grant for the amphitheater. And then I heard Mr. Mick say, well, we're still looking. Who's still looking? No one approached me that we're still looking. And that kind of irritated me because we have much more important things to do in the city besides something like that isn't going to really enhance, as far as I'm concerned, the overall picture of this city.
Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Spaziani, I appreciate it, and I wish you luck in November.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Hickey, you're running for the 2-year seat. Can you tell us why the voters should vote for you for the 2-year seat?
Well, first of all, I care. I've cared enough that I've gone to every single council meeting and work session for the last 5 years, so I know what's going on in the city. I understand the politics that's involved, and I'm willing to help in any way I can. I care about the citizens. I care about Watertown. I've lived here my entire life, and have lived in the same house that I'm currently living in right now for 43 years. So
now I can vouch for you that out of all the council meetings that I've gone to, you've been there. So out of all the candidates, you've probably been to more council meetings than all of them, I think, probably combined. So that's good. So what is your plan of action if you get in there? What would you like to see done?
Well, you know, I am going to be the candidate that will not just be a quick yes vote on the issues. My tough question that I'm going to be asking the mayor and city management is, what does this item, how does this benefit the city of Watertown? That question is my primary question. If it's not going to benefit the residents of Watertown, then I'm going to need a lot more explanation for me to get a yes vote.
All right, final question. There's a hot button issue with this new COVID memorial. What is your opinion on the COVID memorial at Thompson Park?
Well, I think the biggest problem is that we have an issue of making Thompson Park a memorial park. I'm not really real keen on that. It should be involved with the military, with Fort Drum. I mean, they are a big part of our community. I'm apprehensive with the location that they've decided to put this memorial. I think that it is in a very secluded spot up there. It gets dark 7:30, 8 o'clock at night right now. Wait till we get a little closer into winter. So are we going to need it? A lighting area, electricity run to this area with lights. I think we're expanding the cost of things that may go well beyond the $36,000 that they're estimating it. They are trying to get $80,000 in order to run this program, so they can actually have follow-up and take care of it maintenance-wise for the future. I think it's a interesting idea. I don't remember ever seeing one for polio in this city.
Right.
There are a lot of other deadly illnesses.
up to and including cancer.
I definitely agree with your position on the monument up there at the park, and I wish you luck here in November. And I actually think that you'll make a good councilman. I appreciate it.
I appreciate that sentiment.
All right.
Connie.
Thank you. Yep. All right, we're here with Councilwoman Lisa Ruggiero, and you're running for the 4-year seat. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I am on my first term right now of 4 years, and I decided to run again for re-election. So election is in November, and I'm hoping to win another 4 years.
How many votes did you get in the primary?
I know it was over 1,000, or was it? I know I came in first. That I do know. So that was a nice feeling to have that many votes. So I'm hoping for the same, and hopefully more people will come out and vote in November. Sometimes the primaries, you never know if people are going to come out and vote or not.
All right, and if you get elected again, what is your plan for the next 4 years? Or what would you like to see done?
Well, I would like to see more. I would like to really see the city look into using solar energy if possible. I know that we can't because of the hydro contract, but at least lease some of the land out to these farms. I mean, there's solar farms all over the county now. I think there's at least 10 or 11 projects. And I think the landfill makes the perfect choice to be able to lease that land for a solar farm. I know 2 years ago we had the opportunity of having one, and that would have been an extra $70,000 a year, and unfortunately it sat on the city manager's desk, I'm assuming, because it didn't go anywhere. And I really thought that we should do that. We should look at that. You know, some things that probably are minor but might be important to some people is that because of the demand now that's being put on us as far as residents, not just here in the city but all over the country, about having electrical vehicles. Right now it's limited as to where you can plug a car in to charge it. So I'd like to see whether we can put in some charging stations around the city. Obviously we can't give electricity away. Mr. Sly has already informed us of that. So I'd like to see something like that. I'd like to see, personally, I would like to see $300,000 spent to fix the Flint pool. This city has, over numerous years, has had a habit of neglecting their infrastructure until it's too late, and then it costs more money. Perfect example is Thompson Park. That became an issue where nobody wanted to be the one to demolish it, and it just sat there, and then I think what happened was, I don't think it was winterized properly, and then the damage was done. So if we have these assets, then we need to spend the money to keep them and protect them. I know some people were questioning the amphitheater. I was in favor of at least applying for it to see if we even had a shot, but I really felt we weren't going to because the Army or the Department of Defense changed the priorities. So I had a feeling that we weren't going to get that. But to spend that kind of money, and then how are we going to maintain it? There was no budget presented in terms of the expenses to maintain it every year. And that's the thing, those are the things that we have to look at too.
All right, one final question. This COVID memorial.
Yes.
What is your stance on that?
I wasn't sure if I was in favor of it being there in the park. I know we were talking about putting it somewhere else in the city that might be more visible, because where it's being proposed is way behind the Rotary Pavilion, and so nobody will see it. Probably people won't even know that it's there. Maybe in one way that's not being as obtrusive to people. And I know that Mrs. Gorham sent me an email this afternoon saying that she didn't realize there would be so much backlash about it, that she thought this would be a nice thing to do. She has done landscaping for a lot of the projects around the city on her own, just volunteers, and so she said that she was not asking the city for any money, that it would be strictly donations. $80,000 is a lot to raise for donations, I know, because we've been trying a capital campaign for the Historical Society, and out of 50,000, we're about 6,000 away from the goal, and it's taken us 2 years. So to raise 80,000, it's a lot of money, and so we'll see if it even, you know, I don't want to be pessimistic, but maybe her group can raise the money, but if they don't, then it doesn't happen. So we'll see where it goes.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time, and I hope that everything goes well for you in November.
Well, thank you, Donnie.
All right, Mr. Clemens, are you running for city council?
I am not.
So who are you going to be endorsing?
I'm going to endorsing Pat Hickey for the 2-year seat, Lisa Ruggiero for the 4, and Cliff Only for the 4-year seat.
So why are you going to endorse these people?
Lisa's done a good job with the fire department and trying to get money for hospice. Pat, he's a go-getter, and Cliff Only, he also wants to get the pools open and get stuff for the city. So,
what would you like to see these candidates do for the city of Watertown?
I would like to see them to get the pools open for a starter, and we'll go from there.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.